Hey YouTube. So new surroundings. Don't worry, I'm not stuck in the Twilight Zone. This is my newish apartment. I've been living here for about 2 months now, so I mean it's not completely new, but I primarily shoot these bad boys at somewhere else, and I'm hoping to do it right here in this spot from now on. I mean, who knows? It'll be whenever the mood strikes me, but. I haven't done one in a couple weeks, and it's not because I don't love you guys. I've been very busy and very let's say distracted to put it lightly. Um, it's been primarily with my other job and juggling with editing the upcoming book and getting it ready for release on October 31st. And I won't lie, I've been kind of freaking out about it. I'm extremely nervous about it. I mean, everybody's been like, well, you've done the book already. Shouldn't the Jimmies just go away? And if anything, I'm more nervous about this one than the first one. And a lot of a lot of it has to do with this. Just everything's just kind of been piling up, and I've had a whole lot of stuff going on at once, and uh, it got to the point where I was almost just done with it. I'll admit it. I had a couple of moments of weakness where, for the first time since I started writing, that I wanted to quit, and I think I obviously I snapped out of it, and I think what happened was I just you get overwhelmed and you get a little burnt out and you kind of got to manage yourself. I mean, people, you got friends and you got parents and you've got family and girlfriends, wives, whatever that can help you out. But really, it's all in your core. You got to manage yourself for the most part. And the thing was, I really wasn't. And so you got to take care of yourself when you're doing this sort of thing. And I was kind of forgetting about that whole part. I was just like, oh well, I'm just a horse that just needs to constantly work, work, and work. And I was just getting exhausted. Constantly falling asleep while trying to write and edit. And uh, I think half of it was mental. Just overwhelmed. My head just wanted to explode. And but I'm doing okay now. I'm doing pretty good. I'm back to where I'm the normal me. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to kick some ass. And what I wanted to kind of come back and talk about was dealing with criticism. So a lot of people that go into being an author, an actor, anything really like that, um, where you're doing something that's kind of against the norm. I mean, uh, if you're going to a doctor, people aren't constantly criticizing you and questioning your work. I mean, there are people that do that. There are some crazy people that do that. That's a whole discussion for another thing. But I think when you get into the book industry or the film industry, you kind of paint a target on your back, and you get both good. There is good criticism, which that's my favorite. I'm always open to criticism. I think it makes me a better author, a better writer, and you know I give criticism of for myself, not only towards me and my own writing, but other people's writing too. The way that I've always approached was if I only give criticism if somebody asks me to do so. Um, if they're not asking for it, then I don't give it. And not everybody operates that way, um, and you got to be prepared for that because not everybody's going to be nice about it. I mean, I definitely received some heavy feedback on one of the short stories, Phantom Lock, the Game Master, when I kind of put it on a site for fledgling authors that were or wannabe authors that wanted to kind of get their work previewed by other people. And if you read it, you know there's a demon that kind of speaks in a form of broken English, and there were a couple of people that had some problems grasping it and just thought, well, this isn't proper English, so you got to change it. And I'm like, the whole deal is that he's an entity from somewhere else, so it would make sense that he doesn't speak. And I went back and forth with these people, and that's the kind of criticism that I don't really pay too much attention to. I mean, if you're doing things for style and whatever, I mean, if you're completely losing your reader, then maybe you need to tweak it just a touch. Um, and that's kind of what I did. I mean, I really just had one or two people say something to me about it. So I took a step back and I kind of went over it and I was like, well, do I need to change something? So what I did was instead of changing the dialogue, I made it clear, like, I'm not going to say it verbatim because I don't really remember. Something close to what I did was when the game master has his first line of dialogue, I say along the lines of the game master spoke in a form of broken English, and then bam, he had his dialogue, and I thought that maybe fixed the problem. And you know, since the book has come out, that's not been something that anybody's complained about, and I think it's just little things like that where you can patch things up. You don't. I didn't have to do that. There are there's certain readers that don't normally read this sort of that don't normally read sort of things like sometimes when I read fantasy, which I love fantasy, but sometimes the language is kind of hard to fathom. I mean, there's a certain style that some people do where it's kind of hard to click it in your brain. Same thing with Shakespeare. It doesn't mean that Shakespeare is a terrible writer. It's just the style is just not for me. Um, so you got to keep that in mind when you're receiving criticism. You know, your writing isn't going to be for everybody. There are people that are going to love it, and there are people that are going to hate it, and I'm completely fine with both. I mean, not not everybody loves everything. You know, that's part of being human. There are people that have high opinions about things, and sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. But really, you're the author, and you're the one that's got to go with your gut feeling. Um, but I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, how do you deal with criticism internally? A lot of people tell me that I seem like the kind of guy that doesn't come off as being bothered by certain things, and it's not completely true. I mean, I process things over an extended period of time, and that's what helps me. So really, my best advice that I could give a person is to sort of step back and not have that gut reaction, that jerk reaction, where when you get criticism that you're just like, oh, I'm terrible, I'm an awful author, I don't deserve to do this. Instead, maybe take some time to think about it and wonder if it's really worth getting upset over. I mean, if it's something that a lot of people are kind of pointing out to you, then maybe it's something you want to think about. But and even then, it's like not even a big group of people can be wrong. You know, like I said before, ultimately you're the author, and what you have to do is you have to be protective of your work. And you have to be faithful to yourself, because ultimately, and you know, don't give up. A race isn't won by the guy, by people who just when they trip and fall, they're like, oh, I'm done. I can't race anymore. I tripped and fall. I messed up, and everybody saw it, so I just quit the race. Instead, what you do is you get back up and you try again. it's okay to make mistakes in your book. We're all human. The editors you hire to look over your book are human. Your proofreaders are human. Guess what? There are books out there that are published by big publishing houses that have mistakes in it. Things get passed. Even the with all these great machines and programs that we have, things get missed, and that's okay as long as it doesn't take away from the story. I mean, I've read plenty of books where there's a typo, and it's fun. I skip over it, and I met this person not too long ago who, and what she does is, and I can't imagine reading this way. What she does is she takes a highlighter and a pen, and as she's reading, she'll go through professional books and highlight and mark on the mistakes inside the book that she either knows is wrong or thinks is wrong. Because there are sometimes when authors take liberties with the English language, so and that's the great thing about it. You can be flexible with it, and she does that while she reads, and I'm like, that doesn't take away from the story for you. And she's like, well, I don't really like to pay attention to the story. I just like going through it and kind of picking the art form apart. And if that doesn't make you nervous, there are people out there like that. I don't know what will, but you gotta remember at the end of the day, it's your work. And at the end of your life, do you really want to be the person that's old and rickety and thinking, gee, I wish I would have been an actor. Gee, I wish I would have been an author. Gee, I wish I would have been track when I was in high school or whatever it is that you're calling. As a wise man once said, just do it, just go for it, make your dreams come true. Um, so I have a very good friend that is studying to be an actress, and she was having problems, and she's like, Alex, I don't know if I could do this anymore. The auditions aren't working out. Uh, just left and right. She was very down on herself, and I told her, I was like, what if you gave up now, and the next audition you would have had would have been the one to get you started? What if? Because there is that chance, absolutely. I mean, even if you're doing an insignificant play, what if somebody significant is sitting in the audience and enjoyed your performance? You really want to risk that? Do any of you want to risk giving something like that up, knowing that you could have had that chance, no matter how small? It's there, and that's something to be appreciated. I think in this world we can forget about that sort of thing, and remembering to appreciate the impossible can be possible, and that the unlikely can become likely. You know, I I believe that whatever you set your mind to, you can do anything. I believe in each and every one of you that happens that wants to do something with their life. There are plenty of people that are satisfied with sitting on the couch and eating couch potatoes. Don't get me wrong, I love to watch movies. I love to veg out every now and then. I mean, sometimes I feel like I deserve it. And but there are people that they're happy to live off the government, and not everybody that does that is a bad person. But what you're getting the point that I'm getting at. There are people that are willing to settle for less, and it's like, oh, it's good enough. And my best friend once told me, like, if you ever think that way, Alex, I'm gonna punch you. And I totally believe him, and that's not what motivates me, but that just makes him a good friend, and that's why it's important to do what you care about, because life is so short. I mean, tomorrow I could get hit by a bus or whatever. It's like, if that happened, my last thoughts, I wouldn't want them to be, well, I wish I wouldn't have given up being an author last week. This is a damn shame. But instead, what I would get to think was, well, never gave up. Maybe I thought about it, and that's okay because I'm human. But the whole point is I kept going and trucking along. Things are going to be challenging. Things are going to be difficult. Ain't my dad has always said anything worth doing is never easy. And you know, once you get into it, it'll start to come a little bit easier because you'll get better and you'll get more seasoned. Just really, what you have to do is you have to stay in your own world. You have to worry about you, and you have to protect your interests and protect your dream. That doesn't mean be a jackass about it. What I mean is you have to be protective of it. You have to be adamant that, hey, I'm going to write 4 hours a day as much as possible, or I'm going to work out for exactly 48 minutes. I'm going to do leg day Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then arms on Tuesday and Thursday. Whatever your goals are, and if you're just starting out, start small, work baby steps. That's what athletes do, and you can apply that same thing to school, to whatever career path you want to. It doesn't all have to be physical. Your one of your biggest muscles is your brain, and you have to work it as such. So anyway, I hope I was helpful or at least entertaining. I will definitely be more adamant about doing YouTube videos. I always look forward to it. I love doing this. I've always been. I like to watch other channels. I would recommend Angry Joe, Jeremy John's channel. Awesome is really good. Chris Stuckman is kind of one I'm starting to get into. Jenna Moresi, she's an author. She has a really good channel. She does videos similar to mine, except she's much better looking than I am and better at it. And Jay Wells recently, Jay Wells, one of my favorite authors, recently started her own YouTube channel. So go check any of those out. Really. If you have any questions for me, uh, if you ever need any advice, or you just want to tell me how your summer's going, tweet me, message me below on the YouTube channel. All right. You want to tell me about your dreams? I want to hear all about it. Bye, YouTube.